keep telling yourself, this is a transition I want, this is a life I want, this is the impact I want, this is the money I want after transitioning. If you keep telling this to yourself or wishing this, and then at the same time, you keep being your own big opposition and keep selling yourself for why you cannot do that, then you are lying to yourself. And I would like to bring this to your awareness because it is such an unconscious way of doing it. I have done it so many times. I've seen many clients do it so many times. So this is something that I think we do it so often and so automatic that we're not aware that this is what we're doing. And I would like for us all to face our lies and decide what to do with them. So, my dears, anyone who does not know me, my name is Isela Romanova, a life coach for transitioning humanitarians. And in my 5 years of career as a coach, and as I transitioned myself from the UN to becoming my own boss and doing my coaching practice that I love, I have probably faced, I don't know, thousands of lies. And of course, they don't present themselves as lies, right? They present themselves as the truth. This is how it is. So we all have this tendency, and I think you can relate to this, is that we tell ourselves, oh, I would love to work on this topic, on this impact. I would love to live in this place. I would love to be with my family, and I would love to be having, I don't know, replicating my UN salary, whatever it is. Like I had a client recently who was telling me, I would like to replicate my P4 salary, P5 salary. Amazing. I have other clients who tell me, I would like to go for higher. Whatever it is that you tell yourself, this is what you want, right? And then the same time inside you, the same person who's wanting this, the same person who also then becomes your own inner opposition, starts objecting all of the ways how this is not possible, right? Because it's hard, because it's impossible, because no one is doing it, because you've never done this, because it's not the right time. Your children need to go to school, university, whatever it is, right? You tell yourself these are the reasons why you can't go for it. And oftentimes, then, we don't really answer ourselves, why are we shooting our own desires, our own way of wanting to live our lives? Like, why are we using all of these reasons that seem very valid, that seem very true, to shoot our own desires of how we want to live our lives? So why are we doing that, right? Because if we start looking at all of those reasons as to why are we selling ourselves against our own dreams, against our own way of living life, against our own desires of making the money we want to, when we start looking at why we do that, we start realizing three things. First is because we don't think that we are capable of doing it, right? Like, we can see other people doing it. Like, I always tell my people that, well, if you say this is impossible, but we have achieved this with other clients, or many other people are doing this, so why wouldn't you be able to do it? Then they start realizing, oh, because I don't think I'm capable. Then I ask them, why do you think you're not capable? And they say, I don't know, right? That means that you've just decided or concluded that you are not capable, even though you don't know what you're capable of, right? Like we all don't know what we're capable of unless we start trying and acting and learning and deciding and going for it. So then the truth would have been, are you willing to find out what you're capable of? Or you are willing to listen to these lies about how you're not capable? Again, there is no right or wrong answer, but I would like for us to really look the truth in the face and say, okay, the reason why I'm selling myself that this is impossible because I don't believe I'm capable of doing it. And the reason why I'm believing that I'm not capable of doing it is because I'm unwilling to be uncomfortable. That would have been the truth, right? I am unwilling to bruise my ego because if I fail, my ego will be bruising, and I don't want that. Because I'm unwilling to experience those emotions that come from failing. Therefore, I'm willing to accept whatever comes and keep doing things that I don't want to, possibly, or keep being in situations I don't want to, because at least then I just need to tolerate things. Instead, like tolerating also comes with a lot of emotions. I'm willing to experience those emotions, but I'm not willing to experience emotions that come from failing. So that would be the one reason, right? So we essentially believe that the reason why we're selling ourselves how this is not possible is because we believe that we're not capable or this doesn't apply to us. And the reason why we believe this doesn't apply to us or we're not capable is because we're choosing or concluding based on nothing usually that we're not capable, even though we don't know what we're capable, even though we have never done this before, even though we have maybe even demonstrated so many different ways how we're capable of even surviving in the most worst conditions in the world. But when it comes to doing things for our own sake, we're choosing to feel not capable. And when I see that, my heart breaks. Because I know, like in truth, in deep down, we really want that life. Deep down, we really want that freedom. We really want that fulfillment. We really want that thriving and expanding energy and fulfillment and seeing our visions come to life. We really want to be that person. But because of the possible experience of emotions that come from failing, that come from feeling uncomfortable, because of those emotions, we keep selling ourselves against our own dreams. We keep concluding about ourselves how we're not capable, right? So that's the first reason. The second reason is what we are thinking of doing, whatever that thing is, we believe it's not going to work, right? It's the same as the previous one, except that this one, maybe we believe that we are capable and all of this, but we don't think that this thing that we're proposing, this idea, this vision, this project that we want to work on, we believe it's not going to work. Like I have a lot of clients who are now coming up with amazing ideas of how to do their own thing, transition to what they want to be doing, that they always wanted to do. They always saw the humanitarian sector's problem and they want to solve some of those problems doing things differently. They have those amazing ideas, but then they keep doubting their own ideas, right? They keep doubting their own ideas before even putting it out there and offering to people, before even doing any of that. They keep selling themselves against that idea. And I find that fascinating. And I certainly used to do that as well at some point. I'm like, oh my God, this coaching does not work, right? I don't think anyone's going to want to do this. No one even takes this seriously. Am I kidding myself? Will this work? All of these things. And then I realized, why am I the one who is like putting under question my own work that I love doing? Why am I the one doing that? Like, it doesn't make sense. right? But in the moment when the fear hits high, or when things don't work the way we want to, the immediate thing that we go to is like, oh, this thing is not the thing. This idea is not the idea. We're not willing to stand by our idea, by our vision, by our project that we believe is the solution to the thing that we have really suffered through, or we have really seen how this is not how things should be in the humanitarian sector, yet we kept thinking, oh, this would be a perfect solution to that problem. And now we have the opportunity to work on that perfect solution to that problem. And we are the first one to disregard or doubt or second guess, and then keep staying in that state. And I would call that a lie as well. And the reason why that is because unless we have offered to people, unless we have seen the feedback from people, unless we have seen how the solution works or not, unless we have tested it, we can't say if it works or not, if it's valid or not, right? So that's why I tell my people that we have always like two choices. Either we're selling ourselves how this won't work, or selling ourselves how this will work, and then go out and test it in the real world and see if this is true. But we can't stay in between of not deciding, right? And that's the second way how we lie to ourselves. And the third way that we lie, and I think this is a big one, I have certainly suffered through a lot from this, is believing that I don't know, other people don't want this. And this is applicable to the job interview situations very much, I think. But it's also applicable to the private sector if you're transitioning to the private sector. This is applicable to being your own boss if you're doing that. This lie of they don't want what I'm selling or what I'm offering or what I'm wanting to do in the world. They don't want that. Right? I used to do that so much. And even some of the times I think I do that even nowadays. And then I start noticing myself, okay, why am I telling myself the lie? And the reason why this is a lie is because we don't know who wants what. Maybe some people don't want what we're saying, what we're offering, but there are also people who do. How do we know that? Because we have gotten jobs in the past, so that means that they wanted us, right? Or we have, like, I have gotten so many clients in the past, and then if I didn't get the client this time, it doesn't mean that they don't want the thing that I'm offering. It just means this person may not, right? But we are so good at like generalizing and selling ourselves immediately to the idea that, oh, the world does not want what I'm offering, or this employer does not want, or this client does not want, uh, and therefore I can't. And that's another transitioning lie that I keep seeing with people. But the truth would have been some people will want it, other people will not. And all we need is some people, maybe even one in the case of getting hired, right? In the case of getting hired to the job that we really love, probably we just need a one employer. In the case of doing our own business or going to the private sector, we may need only, I don't know, several people. But it doesn't, I think we need to start being aware of like we are the one person who is saying this is what we want, and then who's also saying here are the reasons why it won't work, or why this is not a good idea, or why I'm not capable. But we're not willing to question our own lies against our own dreams. And the reason why we're not able, or we're not willing to question it, I think, is because we just believe those lies to be true. This is just how it is, right? And if we keep just saying this is just how it is, what we're really saying is that what I really want don't matter. How I want to live my life does not matter. What matters is I just keep surviving. And, again, I have survived so many years in my own life, and I feel for everyone who is doing that. But I also know it is the most damn difficult life to live. Like, I have survived violence in my family until I was 16. I have survived all of my women family members surviving the dictatorship of their husbands. And I have survived seeing how I was dependent fully on the system, the humanitarian system, and I couldn't do anything, and feeling like this is the only thing I can do well and everything else I'm not capable of. And then after surviving 35 years, I realized, okay, it's way more difficult to survive something than actually addressing all of our objections, all of our lies, all of our arguments against our dreams. It's a lot easier to address them and go and work and just decide and start doing something rather than keep surviving. This is my experience. And if you feel the same way, then I would like for you to really look at, here is your desires and how you want to live. Here are your objections, your arguments, your lies as to how you are not capable, and then start questioning them. And if you are having difficulty to do that, let me help you to do that, or any other coach you trust help you to do that. Because whatever the thing that we're selling ourselves, that thing keeps growing and becoming our reality. Right? If you keep selling ourselves the idea that this is impossible, we can't do that, this is not going to work, no one's going to buy it, or no one's going to hire, whatever it is, if we keep selling ourselves that story, then that's how our life will be. But in case we decide, wait a minute, this is what I want, and I want to take it seriously and commit to it, and I want to make decisions and start working through whatever the bullshit my brain tells me to keep going to what I want. That's the reality we get. I always think about, like, what if either way is challenging, and which one are we willing to choose, right? If it's challenging to address our own bullshit stories and lies, and we address them, is challenging, keep tolerating and surviving a life that we are not really fond of is also challenging, then which one should we choose? And I always invite people to choose the part where we have all these desires and we are being our own opponents, and stop being our own opponents and start learning how to sell yourself on how capable you are, or if selling is not the word that you can associate with, looking at how truthfully you are capable of doing those things and making things work and addressing whatever the objections you have. And if you'd like to learn how to do the selling in your own way, come to a webinar tomorrow as well. I'm doing a webinar on how to sell in the best or authentic, natural, honest way possible. And that can mean selling your services in the job interview. That can mean selling your services to the private sector. Or it can mean selling your ideas, your vision, your dreams to yourself, that you are capable of doing it, that this is the valid idea, and like test it and then see the validity instead of, deciding in advance. and the world wants what you're offering. And I would like for you to really learn to recognize when your brain is lying to yourself, when your brain is going against yourself, and how not to give in to those forces, which is so much easier, obviously, than convincing ourselves that we are capable of, and start being aware of and learning how to address them. And the way that you know you have addressed them well is if you are making a decision and moving towards that goal. You know when you haven't addressed those objections is when you are procrastinating, when you are delaying, when you are choosing all the other priorities except the one that you desire that is the most impactful. That's when you know you haven't addressed those objections. You haven't stopped being your own opponent. That's how you know. If you have decided and start committing and working towards that goal, that means you have addressed those objections, you have recognized those lies, you have dismantled them, and you have decided to continue. So it's very easy to notice when which path you are taking. Okay, my dears, I want to advocate for this is that if we truly believe that we have this one life, and maybe, there are people who believe there are more lives and amazing, but I tend to believe that there is only this life. And I tend to believe that if this is really true, and if our existence on this earth, we can decide how to exist in this world until the end of our lives, then I always want to be aware of how I'm existing, how I'm being, how I'm functioning, how I'm doing, what impact I'm doing, and all of this. And if it's not what I would love to, then I'm willing to address whatever the challenge is in my way to be in that state rather than keep being in the survival state. Because of the reason that I believe we have such powerful mind and heart and soul as humans. And I don't want to waste it, to be filling it with all the excuses and lies and opposition to my own desires. And that's why I believe whatever the challenge or obstacle or objection that we're having on the way to living the life the way we want to, I believe we are meant to solve them, and we're meant to address them, and we're meant to keep going for them. And if that is also your belief, then I would love for you to start recognizing those lies and recognizing how you have the power to solve them. And you know when you have solved it is when you've made a decision, when you start acting on them. Okay, majors. If this is something you would like to work with me on, come coaches me. There's a link below. If you'd like to join my webinar tomorrow, the link below as well. And in the meantime, have a beautiful weekend.